Hello, I'm Albert Bose. I'm a professional psychic, and I've been doing this for over 45 years. A lot of young women come to me, and a lot of people come to me and ask me about soulmate, the subject of compatibility. It's an interesting subject, like the symbol yin yang. Over thousands of years, people have been discussing and trying to discuss this subject. I like to start big. If you look into the universe, you'll see that there's things spinning. The planets are spinning around the sun is spinning around the galaxy. The deeper we go into the human psyche, we find the same thing. An interesting thing that not many people think about is if the male produces sperm, and that little bitty small little thing, when it comes to a woman's ovaries and into their egg, that starts the process of building a human body. Where does all that dramatic information come from? Well, it comes from the woman, from her brain. That brain creates a body. It has to. And as it creates that body, it's attracting and drawing from both the egg and the sperm. And people say, well, how's that possible? Well, when you have a little boy and he looks like the woman's mother, or you have a little girl and she looks like the father's sister, you realize all that information is in that little egg because the woman didn't have it in her body. It was in the man's body and the woman's body. That's so complex, and science hasn't been able to duplicate it. So the whole idea of balancing and blending two humans is, in a lot of ways, beyond science. They've begun to learn more about genetics, and that is a beginning. If you really look at it closely, when people come to me in a reading, and they put their picture face down and I touch the picture, many times I'm picking up something outside the picture. The picture is a question. And one of the subjects that comes to me is compatibility. When you say soul mate, I originally began to think of it as when your body was a soul, when your body was a pure energy, a part of God. And it may have met your wife or your mother or your sister or your future wife in heaven, in another dimension. And if it met you, it may not mean that you are going to be the wife or the husband, but it may be a learning, again, a learning curve. You might meet a woman and say, I really don't like that, or you might meet a man and say, I don't think I want that in my children's life for my life. Well, that's using your brain and using society. But there's a whole lot more to it than that. The way a person moves, the way you look into their eyes, the smell of their skin, the way they kiss, the way they make love, there's a whole bunch of thousands and thousands of things that match up. And this is something which I try to help people. When the picture's face down, I start talking about whether this person is compatible, meaning, is this person going to have a lot of traits that's a complement to both, not just one, both. We're not talking about just looks. We're talking about two souls, two energies, two little pieces of God that is complementing each other. They're complementing each other because the ultimate answer is for you to grow and become more godlike, grow and create other beings, having an opportunity to create other beings who could be godlike or have God's potential talents, creativity. So when I meditate and a person comes to me, sometimes they just don't think they can find that person. And sometimes they're not being themselves. They're searching more than looking. I know you've gone into a room before to find something and you rush around, look and look and look and look, and you leave the room. But later you're disgusted or tired and you walk in and there it is. Sometimes that's the way when we're attracted to people and people are attracted to us. There's a need for calming, like a meditative state, more like a surrender of ego, and focus more on what feels good, what works out. There's some people that are terrible with money. There's some people that are terrible with, their body rhythms, when they sleep, when they wake up. And you miss a night of sleep, and that could affect your whole life. It can affect your thinking, your health, your ability to fend off illnesses, your immune system. It can affect your creativity. So what we're trying to say here is this is an exciting subject, and it's not as complex as it may sound, but you need to know you. You need to know not what you want, but what you need, what on a very deep level you need. And this is what I try to accomplish in a complete personal reading, is how has your father affected you genetically, physically, spiritually, financially? How has your mother affected you mentally, socially, personally? And these things are important. And a lot of young women, especially young women, ask about soulmates. And I think they're asking for something magical. Well, it can be magical, but it can be a lot of hard work too. Taking care of someone you love is not easy. It's a challenge. It's fun. It's easy to wash someone's car, to make someone a dinner, or to play music, or dance with someone. It takes balance. It takes a balance between those two people. Like I say, the most important thing is trust, respect, and communication. If you don't have trust and respect, and you don't have communication, is the person even your friend? How can you be anything if you don't have those qualities? Just like the yin yang in this picture, there's male energy and there's female energy. When there's more male energy, we call that a man. When there's more female energy, we call that a woman. But we all have male and female energy. And that little sperm is not the beginning. That's the beginning of the physical self. The beginning of the soul self comes from a divine intervention, a spiritual intervention, which creates a living being, to where if you cut them off from their mother, which would be the umbilical cord, they're a person. They're separate. They're a separate animal. They're a separate human being. And that person begins to look for compatibility by, in kindergarten kissing a little girl, or kindergarten a little girl giving a boy a flower. It begins at a very young age. Even babies, I've seen babies reach out to a dog and giggle. Even when you don't think they can't. They giggle. They think that a dog looks funny, or that dog licks them, and they just giggle and laugh. There's a compatibility there. Some people have no connection with animals. Other ones really get a lot out of it. So that's what I like to offer in complete personal readings, is the compatibility of your parents, how that's taught you, the compatibility of your family, the compatibility of other males, females in your life. And that's why I tell you to bring photographs, because photographs capture the essence of that person. It's a question. Hey, John? Do you have any questions?